Welcome back to the Tap 2 podcast. My name is Stas alongside my co-host Jonas. Say hi, Jonas. You're looking lovely today.
Hi, Jonas. You're looking lovely today.
You're okay. Well, you brought it up before the Summer Games Fest. What is it called? I'm so out of touch. I didn't do that.
Summer's Games Fest.
Summer's
what we're
Games
calling it.
Fest.
Summer Game Fest by Jeff Keighley. You know our
Okay,
friend
shout out Jeff.
Shout out Jeff.
The Summer Games Fest with the release of God of War Laufey has had the internet incels up in arms about wokeness in video games. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and cue that intro. All right. So look, instead of white knighting the whole conversation, Jonas, right? I think if people listen to the episode, they know our views on a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
think we don't need to go convincing anybody that we're woke. But I didn't want to.
We would never want to convince people we're woke because we're not woke.
Right.
Hashtag grift.
yeah. We're two guys with a podcast. We inherently aren't woke. This episode is brought to you by RainBet.
Hashtag grift compatible. Sorry, go ahead.
I don't want to come to the defense of how ridiculous it sounds for video games to God forbid have a little bit of diversity. I instead wanted to just kind of talk about why. I don't understand why we'll call it the right, why the right feels the need to shit on anything that doesn't portray them as the main character. We saw the same thing with GTA 6 when the trailer and it dropped and it was rumored that you could potentially play as a female protagonist. Okay, really, never I'm gonna sit there and be like, no, GTA is a boys game.
It is one of those things where it's like, oh, when you are part of the class that has been on top for so long, then any form of equality starts to feel like oppression, and it's a manufactured culture war, and we get all of that. You know what I mean? We understand all the nuance behind it. It's just it's so boring. I'm already bored.
I know. Be up in arms about a game being bad. I don't
Oh, yes, exactly. There's games that suck because they're bad at being a video game. Don't you want to be mad at that?
Right, the same guys who play Call of Duty and they're like, no, bro, I swear this year's version is going to be different. Or the same dudes will be like, no, Lara Croft, you didn't understand what it was like to stare at her 2D titties. It's like, dude, you're that same guy. And now, just because a video game hints at the idea that, hey, maybe you won't play, and they're trying to shroud it behind this idea that they're like, okay, here's my rant. All right. They're trying to shroud their argument.
Rant me, brother.
They're trying to hide their argument behind the fact that God of War, right, is Kratos. Let me lean forward. You are not a fan if you are upset by that argument. Or if that is your argument, I should say, you are not a fan. First and foremost,
why are they not a fan?
Kratos hasn't been the God of War since God of War 3 / Ghost of Sparta. Okay? All right?
Okay.
The man?
Okay.
Second, Kratos himself, if you played the game, said Laufey was the best opponent he's ever faced. Third?
Wait. Can I get a name check? Because I think her name is Faye. Is it not?
Yeah, it's both. It's actually both. Yes.
I
don't want to. No spoilers, but referred to as both. The god Laufey, wife of Kratos, Faye.
Okay, hit me.
Third thing is third and final point. Kratos is a wife guy.
He's such a wife guy. He loves his wife and his little boy.
After a god-induced rage, which causes him to murder his own wife and child, this motherfucker hunts down the God of War. And that is ancient knowledge for anybody who claims to be a fan. That's literally the plot of game 1. And if that guy, who's got such a vendetta that he's like, yeah, I'm going to murder an entire pantheon. If that guy sits there and says, Laufey is the best opponent he's ever faced. I want to see Laufey. I want to see
I want to
Laufey.
see her box. I want to see her. Also, think about this. My favorite weapon in all of video game history. I think it's the sickest thing ever. The Leviathan axe it feels so good to play with. And it's her axe. So I'm trying to see how she was moving. That's all I want. That's all I want to check out.
Right. And I don't like their argument of like, well, they're not the god of war. My man, eventually Kratos is going to go away. Eventually Kratos is going to cease to exist. And what's his name? The son, Atreides? No, Atreus is the boy is going to probably be a main character. So what, you want it to be him over Faye or Laufey? Like their argument makes no sense, and it's just a reason to be like misogynistic.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Were they like, you're gonna play the game. You're gonna play the game. You're gonna complain while you play the game. Shut up. All right? Eat your slop. And because this game is gonna be good. It's gonna be a fun action game that's gonna be a little bit bloated in the middle, but it's gonna be a great time. And that's great. I'm excited. I'm all in.
And you're gonna enjoy it no matter what. And anybody who's already planning to like make content around why they're upset, they're clickbaiting you. They are clipping you. They want you to be upset about the dumbest thing in the world, when in reality what we should be upset about is, I don't know, microtransactions in video games. Like,
are we is this like the gaming's version of a manufactured culture war? Is this like keeping us satiated, little back and forth, so we don't get mad about what we should be mad about?
I mean, I guess, like, I have to imagine like the developers of the game sit there and say to themselves, okay, the God of War franchise is 20 years old. It's time for something different, which then causes them to be like, what could be more different than quite literally changing out the protagonist for someone the protagonist respects? Laufey, right? So
also, she got some good tracks. Everybody's falling in love. I'm falling behind. I'd love to hear that one. That's a banger. So she's all right in my book.
Yeah,
she was on my Spotify last year. I'm a fan.
I mean, the reason like I said, I bring it up because it's not like we don't have to sit here and defend it. People who get upset about that are small-minded and honestly dumb. What I wanted to talk about is sort of like why this takes place, or like at least our perspective on it. Because I think when you look at the history of video games, it's a space that's primarily been dominated by like, young men. Video games were definitely marketed in a way about like, especially action games, especially shooters, things like that. Like, they know their type. It's the same way shonen is quite literally directed towards young people, specifically young men. Which then got me thinking about like, okay, maybe stereotypically, video games, this happens definitely less so because a lot of people play video games, and like we talked about in a previous episode, it's okay to be nerdy. Everybody is in some degree.
Yeah, why not?
I think there was like a stereotypical subgenre of people who played video games who like were either portrayed as or perceived as not a part of the in crowd, which then sort of turns them into sort of that like incel-y culture. You know what I mean?
Got you. So like as a result of being ostracized, they found an identity that puts them at conflict with like major culture, and that identity, when it becomes questioned or attacked by what they perceive as the outside world infiltrating their in group, makes them feel attacked. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah, or even not even, you don't even have to go that deep to just take a look at like when a game comes out with a full customization, full character customization, and it lets you choose your pronouns. And those same people who are upset and they're like,
pronouns.
They're trying to force their woke political agenda on me. It's like, no, actually, you could just choose the pronouns you're comfortable with. Or you don't
Yeah.
have to choose them at all. Just go with like whatever the default is. And it's like, God forbid these developers just not ostracize another outside community, because we could probably guess the people who grew up loving video games and maybe fit in that stereotypical, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Outgoing, introverted. There we go. Thank you. The introverted probably grew up to create these video games and just had a quick thought to themselves like, okay, how do we make this game incredibly inclusive to people who grew up like me? And then you've got fucking Chad like coming along being like, nah, like can't do that. My character's he, him. Great. Okay. Like
And I don't want to touch your character, both literally and like metaphorically. You can have your hateful character. Just just let me just kick it. Let me do my thing. Like, actually, no, you know what? No. I do want to I'm actually changing my mind. I think I do want to touch your character metaphorically, but not literally. Become more open and loving. It's gonna feel so good. It like kicks ass. Like being a bully and hating on things for being like woke or too soft. What's wrong with being a little soft, man? What's the problem with it? What
God
what
forbid
what,
the
what are you
guy's a little
getting?
sensitive, you know?
Get a little sensitive, get a little up in arms, be a little welcoming. No one's gonna get mad at you. It's actually gonna feel really nice and good. And it's just, man, why are you getting mad about this? That's what it's really pissing me off, because it's like, who cares? You don't care. That's what's making me mad. It's the fact that you really don't care that much. Or when you only get mad because you like to see other people get mad at you, that's what pisses me off too. Because those aren't your feelings. Those are other people's feelings. And a lot of times you getting upset makes you the snowflake. And it's just, I'm getting worked up. I'm getting real worked up. I'm getting worked up over a game I'm gonna play for 5 hours. That's what's pissing me off.
I think it's also like the same people who are able to sit, because okay, so there's people who sit there and they're like, oh, bring me back to like the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 lobbies. I'm good, because that had like grown men calling like children the F word. You know, like I don't really need that back in
I,
my life.
I will say, Call of Duty lobbies were very affirming to me, because as like a nerdy black kid, I was always questioning about my blackness. I was worried about it, and then I would go online and I would get called the N word frame one, and I'd be like, wow, I am seen. They do know I'm black.
See, thank
I'm
you.
like, they clocked me quick. They were very great, good about. I wouldn't even have to say anything. I'd be like, hey guys, welcome to the, and I'd be like, whoa.
You're
I'd
like,
be like,
yeah,
how
so
did you
what?
know? You really, wow, good for you, man. Your radar's on point.
Did
But
you
I'm good on that.
did you go through the same thing I did, where I changed my gamer tag like 8 times because my friends were changing their gamer tag?
No, I was gamer Jonas for a real long time, because I was Jonas and I was a gamer, and that's all you needed. You got everything about me from that.
Do,
What more can you ask?
I still remember the two that I switched to. I started off when I first made Xbox Live. It was like my username was like Stash03, which I
Oh, there's
wish I had
two
kept
of
to
them
this
got in there,
day.
huh?
Uh-huh.
Two of them got in there before you, I assume.
Well,
There
3 is
was
my
some other
favorite
stars.
number, so I was just like,
Oh.
but I was like, oh, my name and then my favorite number. Like, I should just keep this forever. It's not
That's
taken.
gas. Yeah, perfect.
And then my friends come along and they're like, we're starting a clan. I was like, all right, you know,
Oh
like, all
no.
right. So then
What was your clan tag?
I was, oh man, the first one. So of course it was like capital lowercase, and it was shattered. So
By the way, I just want you to let you know you're in a TikTok right now called "White Boy Starts a Clan." Just wanted to let you know that you're in that TikTok. Just wanted you to know I put the title up here, the caption, and then and maybe I might mute some of the words you're saying. I'm getting crazy in the editing bay right now. Just
all right, I
so
signed it away. I signed it away. You can
yeah,
use my likeness.
got his ass. Cut to me in the editing bay. And anyway, go ahead.
It was like I was like Shattered Skulls, I think, with a Z,
Okay.
which kind of
Oh
went
hell yeah!
hard,
That
right?
the Z makes it go crazy.
Shattered Skulls, and it had to be Shattered X, and then like some name, and then the next one, my other buddy comes along. He goes, "We're starting a trick shot clan." Now, I wasn't trick shotting on anybody. I was lucky if I could go like positive in a free for all match,
Yeah, absolutely, of course.
And
I, starting a clan is kind of the 11-year-old equivalent of starting a podcast with your buddy. You know what I mean? It kind of is the same exact thing.
art
it's,
imitates life.
yeah, it's just what dudes do if you leave them alone for too long.
Yeah,
It's
it's almost like we just want like community or to do things
yeah.
together.
Yeah, we just want to. Oh man, I guess I gotta talk for an hour.
The next one after that, and what I believe is still no, I have to have changed. I hope I changed it. Is it became Lithium X Prodigy.
Stosh, I'm sorry, but these are the coolest names of all time. Every name you're saying sounds like a guitar riff should be behind them.
I
I'm
felt like it. My
Lithium
friends clowned on me,
Prodigy.
and then my friend changed his name to Lithium Eagle, and I was like, that sucks.
Lithium Eagle is way less swaggy than Lithium. Lithium Prodigy sounds like Nitro Zeus. It sounds like a Transformer name. It sounds sick as hell.
I was proud of it. My friends called me. They're like, "Oh yeah, Prodigy," and I'm like, look what we're doing right now. Look what we're starting a trick shot clan." And my friend who bought a capture card posted like one, and it took hours for us to be like, "Okay, we're gonna stage a knife throw across the map." Like,
Phase Adapt would be so disappointed right now. Just always faking a trick shot is the worst crime you can commit. It's the ancient sin.
I didn't know how to explain it to 11-year-old me that was a cardinal sin.
Yeah, you invent time travel and only use it to stop 11-year-old you from doing a trick shot.
I'm like, one day you're going to change your name to Lithium X Prodigy. It's important that you get good at no scoping for real.
See, I get time
Face is
travel.
going to call you. Face is going to call you one day.
I'm going to use the time machine. I'm going to go back to 1-year-old me and be like, you got a plane to get on. And I think you can stop some shit from going down. Focus up, baby.
You will change the course of history.
It's time to go Mark Wahlberg mode, baby. You got this.
You know, I would have stopped the 9/11.
I would have stopped it. It wouldn't have happened with me. Hey, Brian. He sounds like
yeah, now just Family Guy.
Peter.
So
it's like we're in the middle of getting up in arms. Keep going.
Yeah, I guess that's really kind of it. Like, people want that era back, but they kind of forget how awful that era was. Now, the era of video games back then was great. Like, bring me back like to Crisis 3 or Modern Warfare 2. What are you shaking your head about?
Let him play Crisis. Crisis 3, great. Modern Warfare 2, incredible. Both of those games, incredible. But here's the thing. People are like, man, that era of video games was so much better. It's because we didn't have the internet. You were playing the most popular 3 games. If you looked at the most popular 3 games from our decade, we'd be like, yeah, this era of video games is incredible. Because it is. I'm tired of nostalgia.
Well, yeah, I mean, they nostalgia bait us now, but like back then, before you had a job and real responsibilities, it's like you don't miss playing video games, you miss being a child. Like, that's what you're trying to recreate. I'll never forget when I started playing Sly Cooper like on an emulator, and I was like, man, this is gonna hit. And then I was like, oh, I think I just grew up, and that's sad.
That just made me so bummed out because the amount of joy I experienced from you mentioning Sly Cooper made me want to go back and play it. But now
don't get me wrong. It's one of the best.
Oh, wait a minute.
It's one of the best. Like, it was my favorite. That Ratchet and Clank and Jack and Dexter, dude. You remember those?
Oh yeah,
that's my big 3 right there.
Up the Arsenal is, I mean, those games were kick ass.
I even went back and bought Ratchet and Clank. I think the newest one was a Rift in Time. I even
Yeah,
went
yeah,
back and
Riften.
bought that because I was like, this feels just like this game does feel like a true Ratchet and Clank game because it's basically copy and paste formula, but it was still good.
Okay, sick. Great. I'm Stas, this is the best news. I thought I was going to come onto this call and hear about bad vibes and bad news for an hour. All I've been hearing so far is Ratchet and Clank kicks ass. Sly Cooper is still fun. This is the best news you could have given me.
So anyway, back to this statistic: 1 in 5 adults report coming across some sort of white supremacist messaging in
Jesus
video
fucking
games.
Christ.
That's true.
Yeah,
That's a
man.
real report they did.
Yeah. There is especially like if you're playing certain games, say you're playing CS or Counter-Strike or you're playing League of Legends, there is like a time to oh my I love open voice chat. I love, you know me, I'm a yapper. I love talking to people. And so I'm always on an open voice chat being like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" So there is a time to like slur or time to bad vibe that is really hard to like not be aware of. You
It's
can feel the tide shifting, though.
Oh, well, I feel like we saw a very real example of this in Arc Raiders. When Arc Raiders came out, everybody was like, we're not killing each other. We're just having fun. We're taking down the mechs, like all this stuff. And then, like, somewhere along the way, like some streamer or some influencer got a hold of it, or just the creepy, weird dudes on the internet who hide behind anonymity. They just like get downed by someone, and their instinctual thought is just to hurl a slur, you know, like that.
Yeah.
And then you're
Well,
like,
they have their R1 is bound to slur.
yeah,
That's the
yeah,
slur button they have
yeah.
set
They're
up.
like, how do I macro like the F word at
Yeah.
somebody? But I feel like we saw that in real time because people were. I remember I made a stupid TikTok about it where I was like, dude, Arc Raiders like is showing us that video games can have community. I think the same thing happened with Helldivers where people were like, this game's awesome, and
Oh,
then it like kind of fell off, you know, like which is really
yeah.
disappointing. But
Peak Helldivers was so much fun. Just hopping on with strangers and being like, and like just yelling about like, "Hey man, cover me!" And then a dude would be like, "Get my six!" And I was like, "This is so much fun."
yeah,
And
you're
now I'm
calling
like, I
orbital
do not
strikes
want.
down on you, and you're like, this is the
Oh,
ultimate bleed out spot. Like,
just oh my god, it's snowing. There's a bug about to eat my entrails. It's gorgeous. It's incredible.
yeah.
Ugh.
I think also the problem is, right, like a lot of these spaces we've talked about a little bit before, I think with the gambling episode, is these spaces are perpetrated by like the Asmongold's of the world who
Oh yeah.
take take no umbrage with hopping on a live stream in front of 50,000 people saying that like Palestinian people deserve to die. Like that is the problem. We've got super large audiences for like the worst people in the world.
It, Asmund Gold is so interesting to me because it's so crazy because he exists in a world in which look maxing is like incredibly popular. So like and they're often very similar communities, which I find like fascinating because how can you hold these two thoughts together in your head? Because Asmongold looks like a Men in Black cricket alien and who's has bloody gums and roaches crawling over him,
Oh my.
whereas the whole look maxing thing is like, yeah, you should respect hot people. And there's a big overlap in that community. So I'm so fascinated by that. He also smells bad. Like I don't know that for a fact, but I'm
No,
looking
it's
at
been
him. I can
reported
see him.
by other people.
Okay,
You know, nobody is more
perfect.
fuck ass than Asmongold. That guy sucks,
Yeah.
and you know, I think it's the same. Fuck you, bro. He, uh, but I think it's like the same reason that like Donald Trump was elected. They just like people clung on to someone they saw themselves in him, right? A dirty little
Mhm.
gamer who just like doesn't take care of themselves and wants to stream and not do much and make money by sitting at home all day and blah blah blah, right? I think they saw themselves in him. Somebody maybe like Channel 5 or something
I,
similar to that. They interviewed his fans. Did you see that?
I was gonna say, are you referring? Yeah, I just saw a really interesting, like a video essay in which someone was trying to interview a bunch of Asmongold fans. I we're gonna flash his name like here. It's fat. Like I'll link it. It's really good. Um, and it was fascinating. You're right because like people who feel bad, who are like, I live in filth, and so it's nice seeing that guy who lives in filth. And like if he's successful and doesn't want to change and like can be a kind of a piece of shit, then it's okay that I'm kind of a piece of shit and don't want to change. And maybe I can be successful in that. And it's very sad as an ideal and a thought. And it also like leads to this thing where like feeling like people are looking down on you and that you need to be hateful, which really connects to the core theme of like hating on stuff like like equality and inclusivity. It's like, oh, these are the ideals of those who look down on me. And it's like that's not the case, man. You're creating this false division where it's not.
Yeah.
Like you're probably you could have been a chill dude. You're probably not a chill dude, and you have to accept that you're probably an asshole. And that's okay because the first step to not being an asshole is being like, "Oh fuck, I'm an asshole." And because everyone was an ass, we were all assholes at one point because we were all children. But eventually we learned like empathy and shit, you know?
Yeah. It's also like you have I guess the idea is lost on a lot of these people who follow someone like him, in
Mhm.
the sense of like this guy, for as awful as we perceive him to be, he got incredibly lucky. Like he he started streaming, he started making money, and that money, being able to work in his house and not have to leave, and letting a dead rat wake him up with the alarm clock, like that's like 0.1% chance, no, less than that, of like that guy rising to the top and then saying more and more egregious things and pulling in that audience who agrees with him. It's like, dude, that's not you. And then when you sit around and you
We've
look that you have no real relationships, you're going to be curious as to why.
we've been mentioning this Asmongold guy a lot as a stand-in for like a lot of like different ideologies, rhetoric, streamers, what have you. Could you, for those who don't know who Asmongold is, explain who Asmongold is?
Yeah. What
Because
what
I
even the
don't want
fuck
to
is
take
his real name?
I don't man I don't what the fuck Terry,
Oh,
is
Zach.
it Terry?
Zach. Nah, Zach.
Ugh!
So yeah, this guy, in case you are unfamiliar, his name, he goes by Asmongold. His real name is Zach. He started streaming
World of
and
Warcraft.
yeah, he started making World of Warcraft content like way back when. And then that turned into like YouTube videos, which then turned to live streaming, and he already had a big following. So then he very quickly had a large live streaming follow. And like way back then, like let's say 2015, 2016, Asmongold was like somewhat enjoyable to watch because he was just funny and he was good about like
Yeah.
knowing his content. And then somewhere along the way, he became very brazen. I guess maybe with the world becoming more politically divisive, like he just started saying the most heinous shit. And then what we're referring to about the dead rat, he has said himself, his room was
Yeah.
so disgusting that he had a dead rat on like a mantle or something. And the thing that
Mhm.
would wake him up in the morning, again, I am paraphrasing what he said.
This is I mean, he said it is the worst part.
He said the sun would hit the room in a certain way and it would cook the rat, and the smell is what would wake him up like an alarm clock. The same guy who, it's literally,
Oh,
dude, what's
sorry. I'm
it's
so sorry for doing that in people's ears. That was like a legitimate reaction. My body absorbed it. Oh, I couldn't tank it.
well, you think, well, the thing that worse for me, like I don't know, I can't excuse that, but the thing, he'd be like, his hygiene, his dental
Yep.
hygiene was so bad,
Bloody
he
gum.
would like bleed on his gums, and then he'd fucking wipe it on his wall, bro. Like what?
I
That's the
I
guy you're
oh,
listening to?
there's a clip of him with a cockroach climbing over him, and he just whoop. He just whoop. Like he wasn't even like a cockroach climbs on me. I got a problem. Something's happening. This shit is not going to slide.
Yeah,
But he just he let a cockroach climb all up, and he was like, oh, oop, a cockroach. That's disgusting.
yeah,
And you don't have to live like that. And if you're living like that, you're probably suffering from an actual like a mental disorder. and it's okay to seek help. It doesn't make you a freak or a lesser person, but what does make you a quote unquote lesser person is letting hate put a divider between you and others. If you there's nothing you're not lesser than because you need help. You are lesser than because you hate others, right?
Yeah.
Also, that's so fucking gross.
It's
Oh my god,
so
it's so
gross.
fucking
It's so
gross.
gross.
I'm
And
gonna
somehow, like, people flocked to him, and I guess he just started saying whatever he felt like he wanted.
Sure.
Like, he just said whatever he wanted, and he was backed by the fact that, he was financially capable of protecting him, because there was times he like took massive breaks from streaming, right? So like
Yeah.
he could protect himself. He started a gaming organization with a couple
Group.
other
Yeah.
people. Like, this guy, it's just another example of like there are no consequences for those people who have money. And the fact that this guy has then somewhat turned into like a political streamer and gives these crazy fucking takes that then like
Yeah.
his chat, who can't think for themselves, like just agrees with, or maybe they already agree with him and they're like, thank god this guy's saying it. Like, it's it's gross. Like, it's just like the
It's
behavior, and
grotesque.
that is
It's
contributing to what we're
nasty.
talking about, right? That contributing to like, "Oh, I will not have a female protagonist in my game." It's like, yeah, dude, you watch Asmongold, so your opinion actually doesn't matter. Like,
Yeah, yeah. If you're that type of guy who's making that argument, you're that kind of guy who's watching him. And it's crazy because in my head I'm like, those kind of guys don't really exist, but they do exist. They exist in thousands and millions. And it's I have a question, Stash, and I really want
yeah,
to know your opinion on it. Do you believe, because this is something I've been thinking about a lot for just a lot of things in my life. Is it our responsibility as people who care, as people who are like empathetic, to like show empathy to those people, right? To be like kind and welcoming to those people? Or is it more at what level is it our responsibility to be like, nah, man, I gotta protect my like vibe and energy. It is not my responsibility to help your ass out. Where do you feel on that spectrum?
I mean,
Because
I
that's a
go
really hard
back and
question.
yeah, I go back and forth. Like, yeah, my initial knee jerk reaction is to say yes. Like, those guys, we should try to quote unquote bring them to the other side,
Mhm.
because every person who thinks that way has the potential to go down the rabbit hole and be a danger
Mhm.
to themselves and others. That's my
Absolutely.
thought, right? But then you're like, okay, well, if this guy, majority men, but like, let's say if this person is watching Asmongold, agreeing with his takes, uh, getting on Twitter to call people slurs, hiding behind anonymity, there's a real chance that person is not interested in being reached out to. And some
Yeah.
sort of weird psychological click happens in their brain when people freak out at them, or when people say, like, you don't have to be this way. And they're like, of course I have to be this way. It's because, and then they all have their reasons for acting this way. They want to blame whatever. And some like libertarian bullshit, right? Where they're like, no corporations, but Second Amendment, like, that type of thing. Um, so I don't know. I go back and forth, but my initial reaction is like, yeah, like, but then you get into like an Overwatch game or a Marvel Rivals game and you do poorly, and immediately just someone starts calling you a slur, and you're like, like, that person clearly has nobody else, and the fact that they're doing this, and like, I don't know. I go back and forth.
I'm with you. I get that. I think ooh, it's hard. Yeah. I'm with you. I go back and forth. You mentioned getting into an Overwatch game, and it reminded me one of my favorite I have a screenshot on my computer, and it's one of my favorite things. And it's I was playing Hearthstone one day, and a guy like got he sent me a friend request immediately after the game was done, meaning he wants to say something mean to me. And so of
Yeah.
course I hit accept because I was like, I gotta see what this guy's gonna say. I'm so curious. Said a bunch of horrific shit, and I was just being pleasant to him, and then he starts like his like horrific stuff like starts slowing down, and then like eventually he goes, "Hey man, I'm sorry. I think I was just having a rough day, and I think like you did play better, and like that's on me. And I was like, it's all right, buddy.
You,
And
you catch more
I
flies with
felt
honey.
so I felt so dominant. I can't lie. I felt so dominant in that position. I was like I bent you over with my kindness. You
You
got
were
you got
emotionally intelligent maxing.
yeah, you actually you just got cooked in the marketplace of emotions.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
enjoy. I
Like,
hit him
ooh,
with the
look at a little
Professor
guy. He
X.
doesn't know how to regulate. Ooh.
Ooh, ooh, I bet you're feeling, yeah, yeah, I like that. Yeah. Feel bad about what you did. See
I
me as a person.
look. I'm not gonna sit there and pretend like I don't have those thoughts. But I lose in like a modern match, or I lose in like MTG Arena, and my first, or like Summoner's War, and my first initial reaction is to be like, "Fuck this fucking loser." You know, like that is where, instead of being like, "What did I do wrong? How did I misplay that?" I always want to just put blame somewhere else onto, like, you know, the opponent or whatever. It's the same reason I think like racism will probably always exist so long as like road rage always exist, because you know, like, did you see I just saw a meme where the guy was like driving and he's like, me speeding up, endangering my life to confirm my racial bias as I'm driving past
God. Well,
someone.
I it's very shout out Toni Morrison's like The Origin of Others. It's very like thinking about how making someone opposing to yourself can feel good and like creating in groups and blah 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 or whatever. Um
Yeah, it's way easier to look at someone else and be like, "You're the fucking problem, and I've never done anything wrong in my whole life. I'm the better player. I'm the better person." Blah blah blah. And then instead of just like meeting someone like you who's like, "No, man, I think you misplayed, and here's how to help with that." And then they just slowly
yeah,
have the realization where they're like, "Oh, ugh, I don't feel great about
I
myself."
I have a friend. I have a friend named Mark, and who's gonna be in these comments. Love you,
Shout
Mark.
out, Mark.
And shout out Mark for real. And I'm about to. He is perhaps one of. I mean, he's one of the nicest people I know, but he's one of my favorite people to play Commander with, because no matter if he's winning or losing or having a bad time, he'll always go like, "It's pretty interesting what you got going on over there," or he'll be like, "That's a fun little mechanic. Oh, I like the way you built that deck. Might not be the proper bracket for it, but you seem like you're really having it." And I'm like, man, he's like, he creates a font of joy that like improves the vibe of the table. And that's like what we could be improving the vibe of the world, of just being like, hey man, I like what you got going on over there. And just be like, also, if you legitimately have a problem with that game, if you feel like, I feel as if I don't get seen by video games anymore, that's not true. you're
That's
you're
not
you're
true.
seen.
I got a
You
list for
have
it.
enough. You got a list. If you see a list and then you go, all right, I'm not seen, then I'm like, maybe you don't really like identify the way you think you identify. Because if you're feeling unseen by all of this stuff, then I don't know what you're working with, boss. And here's the thing, I get it, man. Feeling unseen sucks. But it's happening. You're a white dude, probably. If you're angry about this shit, you're probably a white guy. And if that's the case, you got enough games for you. All right.
Yeah. Or like when
Oh,
the you know, the Eagles share like their pride logo and people are like, keep this shit out of football. It's like, dude, you could just say you hate gay people. Like, you know, like, God forbid a gay
just
person
be.
appreciates the same thing you do. You know?
It's like also like so many of these corporations or organizations are doing such shallow representation. They're doing like the lightest, like gay people are cool, I guess. And then people are like, no.
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
the back, like I'm in the back, like I don't think that was enough. I feel like we should
Right,
get
right.
like a little bit more.
We got rainbow
Oh,
washed.
oh. Yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to. What is it? Rainbow capitalism. I'm just like, I get it. Oh,
Yeah.
ugh.
It is always tough. Like, I don't know where this comes from, but I am for sure someone who is overly competitive. Like, we've talked about
Mhm.
this before. I don't like to win. I hate to lose. Like, that's like,
It's so
it's really hard. I've been working on it.
you're
But
not
like,
playing a some game of joy. Like if you're doing the math, if if you're not getting enough joy from winning and you're losing that much joy from losing, you're losing joy every time you play this game.
Yeah, because you don't even get to revel in the fact that you won, because you're already thinking about like, A, how do I win again, or like, why can't that happen all the time? I think about my friends, since we've been friends since we were 14 years old. Shout out Jack, and our mutual
Shout out
friend
Jack.
Charlie. It doesn't
I
matter
love
if
Charlie.
they lose, if they win, they just have a good time. And you see someone like that interact with a competitive thing, and you're like, God, I wish I could feel the world the way they like.
And he, what the best part about Charlie is, even when Charlie doesn't like to lose. Even when he does lose, he'll be like, "Hey, let's run it back another time," or "Hey, that was fun. Let's blah blah blah." He reframes his disdain for losing in such a like positive way that it's just so pleasant. Ugh,
Maybe
yeah.
you and I, Jonas, this week, between now and when we record next episode, let's try to be mindful and lose with grace. I'm gonna text you after
Can't.
I play
Just
modern, and I'm
can't.
gonna go, hey man, I went 0-4 and it doesn't feel great, but you know what? I'm thinking about it, all the ways I could win next week.
I'm gonna
And that's
text
gonna
you
be
and be
the
like,
most difficult thing in the whole.
"Hey, I was playing Commander recently and I got stacked out. So and I shook his hand. I didn't want to strangle him. I didn't blow him up in my mind. I
Yeah,
didn't I didn't
yeah.
explode him in my thoughts.
I didn't think to myself, well, if I was a worse person, I would say this.
I played kickball recently. Me and my friends, we play in a flip cup kickball league. Just fun with the friends. Real light competition. And I dropped the ball and I was ready to like commit harikari. I was ready to like actually lose my life on that field. And you know what's the worst part? The team against us had custom jerseys for like, and I'm like, custom jerseys? What are you guys doing? This is like we have jobs. This is like a light league, and I'm starting to think these terrible thoughts about these other people because I for no reason. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm getting worked up and angry.
I played a game. I had a baseball game last week,
Mhm.
2 weeks ago, and I struck out. Which, like, I've been on a hot streak. I've been really feeling myself, so this kind of
Yeah,
couples up with that. I struck out looking, which like just did not feel good, and look. I still to this day I don't agree with the call. I thought it was inside, but he called me out, so whatever.
Mhm.
He called me at strike three. I walk away and I was like, damn, that's crazy. And I was just talking to myself. I really was not like,
Yeah.
I never get upset at the umpire because like we're
Sure, sure,
adults. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, wow, that's fucking insane. I just said that to me, but like out loud. And the catcher on the other team turns around and goes, are you fucking crazy? That was right down the middle. And I immediately, it didn't even register in my brain to take a second
Oh
to
no!
respond. I literally just go, nobody's talking to you. Shut your fucking mouth.
Shut your fucking mouth! It's so raw. Here's
I looked up, I said,
the
nobody's talking to you. Shut your fucking mouth. Like, it was so, and then like the rest of my team kind of went, oh. Like, it was so embarrassing that my next up at bat, I just went up to him. I gave him a fist bump and I was like, dog, I'm sorry. I was mad at myself for striking out. I took it out on you. And he went, I probably shouldn't have said something anyway. And that was it.
nice.
Like,
You needed that because you were at an all-time aura loss. Because striking out is one of the greatest aura losses in sports. And then you threw a little tantrum, so you really looked crazy. So you really had to lock in and look emotionally intelligent quick.
yeah. I mixed at bat. I went with like such like calm, like grace, and I was like,
Yeah, grace.
gave him a fist bump, and I was like, hey brother, like with, like
Yeah.
and then
I
after the
also
game, we like chatted. I was like, for the whole team to go, like I was like,
Hey brother, just wanted to let you know I made a donation to a charity fund in your name. All right, let's play some ball.
Nothing's worse than being in front of a bunch of grown men and throwing a goddamn tantrum. It's so funny.
No, sorry, I'm just seeing everyone go, ugh, which is really cracking me up.
Because everything up until that point, like that's something that like trash talk is just part of my game, unfortunately. But again, it's mostly instinctual. And the game up until that point, we were winning. There was no back and forth between the team. There was nothing. I was the first instance of telling that guy to shut the fuck up.
My God.
And I could feel the guys on my team go, no, not today. Like,
not what we're doing. There is good-natured trash talk when it's back and forth. It's very fun. If you're the only guy doing it, you're just an asshole. You're just
I think about in the same league where a guy, we were playing the team, they're like the worst record in the league. The guy got so mad that he started taking his shirt off and like yelling at the umpire. And it literally reminded me when we were kids of watching the greatest freak out videos when it's like, you know, he's like shoving the remote.
You deleted my World of Warcraft account! I have the visual image of him taking the remote and trying to stick it up his own ass permanently etched into my brain. I don't know what that was about. I don't know why he did any of that shit, but it's gonna live with me forever.
Oh my God. It's like that guy who who then gets suspended from the next game. I'm like, imagine you got to go home to your girlfriend and be like, I'm not allowed to play next week.
He's better than me because I would lie. Tia, you would not be hearing about it. I would just tell her, I'd be like, hey, just letting you know, I'm not going to be at kickball actually next week. I decided I'm not going. They canceled it, actually. It's crazy. I'm lying. My ass. There's no way I'm telling the truth.
I don't know what you heard about me not being welcome back to the league, but they're all fake. They're all fake.
Yeah. It's fake news. They didn't kick me out of the league. I chose to leave.
Yeah, so I think about that guy when I want to like freak out and like call somebody out or whatever, because I'm like, also, you know, I'm not trying to shame anybody here, but it's one thing to rip your shirt off and people be like, whoa, that guy's hulking out. If you do that and I go, whoa, that guy needs a tan, that does not look good.
See, this is why you need to get fit. I need to get righteous so that when I freak out after going 0-3 at Magic the Gathering night or whatever, people go, "Oh hell yeah, this guy kicks ass."
Oh shit, at least he's built.
Yeah, wait, he's kind of likes that. Wait a minute.
Yeah,
maybe we shouldn't have passed to exiled his crater hoof or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. We deviated from the conversation, but basically, don't be that guy. Don't be that guy.
Don't be that guy. Also, speaking of just like, it's so funny that this is like the major conversation around like all of this event, because like I'd rather much talk about like how much of a whiff it feels like the latest summer's Games Fest has been, and like how like the Nintendo Direct didn't really have much, and how the PlayStation State of Play was kind of cool, but like other than that, like I'm not really excited about that many games. And talk about like how the game industry is making so many remakes, and do they have to make remakes because games are so expensive to make? But no one wants to talk about that because we have to see if the same girl who wrote fucking I'm trying to think of a good Laufey song off the top of my dome and I can't think of one right now. I failed you, Laufey.
It's okay. We get what you're saying. They want us focused, or they have us focused on the wrong things when we should be coming together to, you know, fight for the consumer.
Exactly. And I want to play Control. Control seems fun. They got a new Control game coming out, and that seems cool.
Are we not getting Switch Sports Resorts or whatever?
We're getting Switch Sports Resorts. Did you play the other Switch Sports games? I feel like they were trying to capture the Wii Sports energy, but I think the thing that really sold the Wii Sports energy is that every single person had a copy immediately, and that's what made it like really like cool. Like that's why it was in everyone's house already. That's why everyone was playing it.
If the Switch continued that over all of its, or if Nintendo continued that over all of its releases, I think it would be a hands down no debate of the best console. Like if they threw out, they were like, yeah, Switch, everybody gets Switch Sports and everybody gets Mario, like racing, whatever, like Mario Kart.
Yeah,
like they would be at the top, because I bought Switch Sports Resort. God, that's Switch Sports, and it's like $30 or $40. Yeah. You know, how are you going to compete with Nintendo Wii original sports where they were just like, hey, We want you to get a feel for the nunchuck. And you're like, okay.
Yeah, plug that shit in and let me know. Let me know how you're feeling with it. And I'm like, yes, please.
Yeah.
And you know, I was doing it with no protection. Take that strap off, baby. Don't strap that wrist up. Let me break the TV.
Oh,
Let me
yeah,
really
yeah.
fuck up my entire living room.
We were raw
Sasha,
dogging for sure.
you look so confused for a second. You're
No,
like,
I
I know
know
he's
what you're
going
talking
somewhere, but I'm
about.
gonna figure out where he's going. I
We were
trust
raw
him. I
dogging the Wii
trust
remotes.
We're all raw dogging the Wii remotes.
I remember when
Oh,
the Wii came out and it was like there was a litany of Facebook posts that were like, my son destroyed, or like my son knocked himself out with the nunchuck. And it's like, you got to be pretty dumb to be doing that shit.
or you got to be pretty strong. Let's get your son on like a football field.
Yeah.
Let's get. Oh yeah, the fucking we need to see some shit happen. The Commanders need a new O line. Let's make something happen.
All right. Well, as we start to wind down this episode, what do you got for your tap 2 minutes here?
Ooh, for my tap 2 minutes here. What have I really been enjoying recently? I'm just trying to think. I've been playing a lot. I mentioned it a little bit at the top of the episode, but I'm playing a lot of Hearthstone again. And I have not been enjoying it, which is really fun. Uh
Sorry.
oh, I And I think there's something beautiful about being like, "Hey, this is a game that I've played a long time, and I am okay with sunsetting in my life." Where I'm like, I have these moments. I've done this every couple months where I'm like, "I'll play it. Oh, I don't like this game," and I'll stop. And I think it's great to know when you're allowed to stop anything. If you have something you don't enjoy right now, don't do it anymore. It's I know that's crazy to say because it's such a simple thing, but like you don't need to keep doing something because you've done it for a long time. And so my tap 2 minutes is a video game I don't really enjoy that much of right now.
Oh yeah. Are
What
you
about you? What
I don't know if there's much. I've been playing, like I said last week, a lot of No Man's Sky, been practicing
oh, fun.
modern. The game that I will say that always makes me feel good when I come back to it is the Batman Arkham series. I
Yes.
love those series. They are some of the best video games ever created, and the fact that we might never get another one is so upsetting.
Yeah, Bam Ham goes so crazy. It is such a fun vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's good energy. Oh,
Arkham Knight, oh
man.
my god. I remember going to the midnight release. Oh, so good. It was so good. Staying up, playing the game. That was like what, our sophomore year of college in the summer or something like that?
Maybe. You're a bit older than me though, so we got to acknowledge that.
By
I'm
like
young and
6
youthful.
months. What are you talking about?
Young and youthful. I'm young, youthful. I'm a youthful 26. You're like a haggardly 27. It's a very different
Oh,
vibe.
you're only 26?
Yeah, I'm 26 years of age.
When's your birthday?
December 29th.
Oh fuck me, bro! I'm about to be Unc on the podcast.
Yeah, he's Unk. I'm young. Let's go. Let's
That's one thing. It's been
go.
very difficult to get used to that, where I'm like starting to meet people, and I'm like, "Oh, you're like the same age as me," and they're like, "I graduated in 2023," and I'm like,
Yeah, you're
"What?"
like,
Like,
yeah, right? You're an adult. And it's like, yeah, of course I'm an adult. I graduated so long ago. You're like,
oh yeah, the Mr. Krabs meme. We're like,
yeah. I've been rewatching a lot of speaking of Batman, I've been rewatching The Batman because I've been trying to
ooh.
see like we were talking a lot about nostalgia, and I wanted to see if a lot of my nostalgia holds up for stuff like Spectacular Spider-Man, The Batman, like a lot of the shows I watched as a kid, and they're gas. Oh my
Yeah,
god, it's all heaters.
yeah. Did you watch the new series on HBO? Like, didn't they
No, I
remake
did
the
not.
Batman or something like that?
They made like a new Batman, and I need to watch like a new Batman the animated series, and I'll get around to it. But if you haven't seen the Batman, watch the Batman. It might be my favorite Batman, which
Yeah.
is so crazy to say because there's been so many iterations. But Spectacular Spider-Man and the Batman are my two favorite iterations of those characters. It's so good.
Or maybe you were just nostalgic.
No, shut. No.
Cut the episode there.
Call to action. I didn't forget to do it. Go to the TikToks. Go to the socials. You don't get to get away without a call to action. You've been
Yeah.
called.
Yeah, or Batman will get your ass.
Oh, Batman will get your ass. The Batman. All right, now, no.